You think leadership is a common case? No. Esther said, if I perish, I perish. Whenever you are in leadership, look at what happened to Donald Trump. In America, where security is everywhere. Yet, 2 times now they wanted to kill him. Every profession has its own risk. If you're not willing to take the risk that is attached to any profession, step aside so that people who are given that mind by God will go ahead and serve God in that capacity. If you're an actor and an actress and you say you're not going to hug babes and you're not going to kiss them, step aside. Because that's what the job is. Don't come and say you're a born-again Christian. That's what the job entails. If you're a politician and you can't stand for your people that voted for you, and because you don't want to die, step aside. Because that's what the job entails. Any politician that is not behaving like Sim Fubara, who will resist and protest when his rights are trampled upon, knowing that our judicial system, knowing that our electoral system have failed us, that any politician who will not stand his ground, no matter the risk to his person, I said I will not speak for that politician again, and I maintain it. And you can see what is happening, because we can't go forward. We calm down. If Sim Fubara has been saying calm down, do you know where Rivers State would have been? He said he's ready for them. He's fully prepared. The election must go on. The election must hold. Winners must be declared. They will be sworn in. And whatever is going to happen, let it happen. I am looking for leaders who would say nobody will rig my election. And if you rig my election, I will fight. Nigerians, come out and fight. If they kill anybody, let them kill all of us. Oh yes, and thank God I'm seeing it happen. What Fubara did, was he advocating for violence? Was he advocating that the law should be broken? No. He was advocating for his right. That's my opinion. That's my advocacy. We must advocate for our right and stand by it. I did not disqualify anybody. I don't have that right. I said I am not going to speak for anybody going forward except this person meets this criteria. In any case, we have finished 2023 election. It's over. 2027 election has not come. So anybody who is saying betrayal, what am I betraying? There is nothing on ground. When I was a spokesman in 2023, I did my job creditably well, and we convinced Nigerians on what we believe is right. But you can see that in Nigeria, you not only have to have the power to win election, you have to have the power to defend your election. So anybody that does not have that spirit or power to defend the votes in a manner that you would say, whatever happens to me as a person, let it happen. I am not willing to speak any further for the person. So what I just simply said is that going forward, I will no longer be part of this until these fears are addressed. So I did not disqualify anybody. One, I don't have that power. Then two, I am not betraying anybody because I'm still a member of Labour Party. And you can see I'm still fighting. The Labour Party should be consolidated because Nigerians are looking for an alternative to these people. That if you want to fight these people who are compulsive thieves and who are the worst amongst us, leading us, according to Senator Ndume, who is part of them, then you have to grow higher and be more aggressive than calm down. That's what I said, and I stand by it. In all honesty, I would have said we don't. But because I'm a student of theology, I would not say so. Because when Elijah thought he was the only person that was worshiping God, God said, no, you're not the only person. There are more than 7,000 persons like you still in that country that have not done anything evil. I know them. So the only thing we have to do in this country, we must not be sentimentally attached to anybody, any politician. We must not be loyal to political parties or politicians. We have to be loyal to the country and to the law. And if any law is, if any law is unjust, we have to fight the law. If anybody is doing anything illegal, no matter who the person is, we have to fight the person. So in Nigeria, we must create the environment so that those 7,000 that we do not know who are leaders will be able to begin to emerge. If the good ones keep quiet, they will never emerge. When people say people are selling their votes, you know why they are selling their votes? Because they believe that even if they vote their conscience, it will not count. Not because they want to be corrupt. They saw what happened in 2023. I was an active participant in that election of 2023. They did not sell their votes. But after, it did not count. So they'll be like, why would I go and say I'm voting for my conscience when it will not count? If I'm going to take this money, at least it will be what I gain. So if we don't fight, we are...
You think leadership is Akamuke's been a pap or Ogi?
Whatever you think they be, Nubia. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, globally welcome. What's going on here? What's going on here? Okay. welcome, everybody. I get on for plenty. Oh my God. Okay, let's see. My guess beats me to the game.
Hello.
Oluwabumi
Hi. Hello.
ni Iyajebu.
No. That's not me.
That's not you. You are not. You don't want title. I was
No.
thinking that you are going to be the the female the Omoluabis. As I cover both male and female. I mean, I just the male they claim Omoluabi.
Who's
You are,
that?
I don't know. You. Are you not from Ondo
No.
State? Are you not an Ijebu girl?
Wait. How do you know where I'm from?
I don't know. I'm just. This is me taking a white
wait.
guess.
No. That that guess is very specific.
It's very specific. Well, let's start with your name. That's what your name. Abi Bumi now. Oluwa Bumi. Olu Bumi.
It's
Olu.
it's
Abi
literally
there's
just a
something.
Yoruba name. It's just a Yoruba name. So how can you guess where exactly that name is from?
Well, I mean, I think outside Ondo and Oyo, every other Yoruba na counterfeit.
Wow, okay.
Oh, I
I
mean,
mean, I don't know. I have no clue. I'm only associating based on family ties. I have no clue.
so where is the ties coming from? Which of the states?
Which of the state am I from?
Yeah.
Well, actually, both of them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Uh,
So, how have you been in terms in regards to current affairs? Are you
which
are you are you following the current development pretty much everywhere catch fire now? Everybody recollects since the empire empire is in crisis. So pretty much everywhere is everybody they get them. The Secretary of State, Pete Hegseth, just come address una for Europe. Say, well, may everybody be in Papa name. I don't know if you are aware of that. As at earlier today, that was the breaking news that the Europe security will no longer be the primary responsibility of the United States, which is what it has been since the Second World War. So it was just point blank that you guys have to carry your own cross now because our homeland is in trouble. Literally, he said that. Um, uh, there is going to be a peace talk. Putin and Trump is going to meet face to face in Saudi Arabia. That's where they plan to have their negotiation. They got the ceasefire. Um, is America is busy buying everywhere, claiming and buying everywhere, taking everything, from from Panama to Greeceland to Gaza to wherever. Then our own back home in Nigeria, every alliances and skirmish and everybody just I don't. I mean, I don't those in power, the leaders are divided, which is normal. Those in power, those are not in power. The ordinary, I mean, there's so much happening. So I wonder where, if you are paying attention at all, you are just living your best
I
life.
I used to pay attention, but at this
You
point, it politics is
like
just
that.
becoming a clear joke. Like at this point, it's just something else. I'm just giving up. Whatever happened, happens. It is what it is. I'm here for a short
Yeah.
time, not a long time.
What are you giving up on? Eh?
Everything, nothing makes any sense. Literally, nothing. It's literally just a joke.
Yeah, but that's your point now. You trying to make sense of it. The goal is not to make sense to everybody. What I mean, the goal of those in power anywhere across the world is for the followers not to have a clue, right? So your goal should be let me see the because clearly it appears as a joke, but it's not a joke. Abi?
No, I'm saying it is a joke. It's very much a joke.
How?
Very, very much a joke.
Really?
Like when you're reading the news, you're like, are these people serious? Like, am I the
Oh,
one? Like nothing makes any sense. Like at this point,
but
sorry.
but that's the problem though. The news. The news is the channel in which they disorganize, they make sure you don't understand. It's just fair the news. So they control the news.
No, no, I don't think you're
so,
getting my
so
point. I'm saying I understand the news. I'm just saying everything about the news, everything about what they're talking about is what doesn't make any sense. For example, the whole Donald Trump's um interview he had when he said that they're going to take over Palestine and that. It's like, uh, are we, is this 1990 something that we don't know of? Like, are we really that, are we going back to that level of like control and like, obviously, it has always been there. But I think now it's so clear that you realize that is this really what we are doing as a society? Not as a bunch of humans. That's what I'm trying to say. That it's not making any
I,
sense in terms of like what's our goal as humans.
I agree with you. You understand? But again, today I must look for somebody to blame. I'll blame you, right?
What did I do?
Good.
I
All the
just
problem,
arrived to this planet. I haven't
you just
even been
arrived.
here for like literally I just arrived. You
I
can't
like
blame
that.
me.
You really just arrived. I say I'm blaming you because you are not interested in figuring out where you are,
No, I
right? So
have
that's
figured
why
it out. I figured it out
you
and I'm
can't.
realizing I've figured
No.
everything out and I'm realizing that we're in a comedy, you know what they call it? That
No, no, no,
midnight
no, no, no,
daily
no, no.
show skit and that. Literally,
If you
that's how it's playing.
if you figure it out right, then you will not give up. And I said I blame you because you seems to eat up everything you are fed. When you arrive the planet, as you said, you just arrived. When you arrive, every food that was given to you, you literally ate everything, which is okay, right? But yeah, you are supposed to. Okay, let me use this. Let me use this as an example. Let me use normal animal. I don't know if you're a fan of Animal Channel, right? If you study animals like snake, all those big animals that feed on other mammals, right? If a snake you swallow a big, eat a big food, you can literally go and pick the snake up with your hand. You know
Yeah.
why? Because at that time, after swallowing that whatever that he sees as food, he will need time for that food to actually decay and digest in the system because now raw, right? So once they eat big,
Yeah.
especially they swallow big something, they will just be there. They cannot do anything anymore. You're awake. Just like if you are sleeping in the middle of your sleep, somebody can carry you, right? Just raise up your hand. It's as if there's no life, right? But there is life, but just that time your system is busy, that digesting whatever that you consume, do the or you're finished, but it's resting. So that's why I say I blame you because everything that you've been fed, you ate them all. But in the process of digesting, that is why you should not be thinking like, okay, this food will give me so. What is it for? What is the point? Why am I eating it? To stay healthy, to grow, to you understand? Now I'm using that to say everything that they told you about the world you ate them raw. Now you are now they said you are free, that we are not just as you said, we are no longer in the past. You don't grab things anymore. Right? Now, those are all the things that you were told, either from news, from books, history, or whatever, all of us. Right? But those are lies. That's why I said, yeah, I blame you. They are all lies. Right? From the beginning of it all. It's all, I mean, if you look at the American Constitution, right, it's a we the people, right? In the eyes of the Constitution, every human being is equal. But the man who is saying that has people as slaves under him. So if you just start from there already, you know, say, okay, these people are up to some no good. And again,
Yeah.
if you follow the history of the world, you know, saying a lie. So that's why I said everything that is happening right now under Trump is just a continuation of what the original plan is. You understand? That's why I said no, it no be joke. Now that's how that it was on the original plan. Because you have to study how America starts. Literally, now some people adventure and start in that for sake of conversation. They cultivated the land, literally clean everybody away there. They started their own way of city states. So all you need to do is okay, why did these people start and what is the goal? So they will tell you that it's an experiment. But what are they really experimenting? It's to dominate the planet Earth. The day that dream, the day that vision, the day that will change, that will be the end of this civilization as an empire as we see it. You understand?
Yeah. I think
So, mm,
what I'm specifically pointing out is that, for example, like you said, it's very clear where what America stands for. Whether you're talking about the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, there is a United States identity first, regardless of whatever party comes
yeah,
into power. 100%. But I think is a joke is the reaction to other people. That's what I think is a joke because America is doing their game. They're playing their game. They're doing what they think is best for them. And I'm just like, what are all of you all doing as a society, as a people? Because you can clearly see how each and everyone is being played. And you're okay with them playing you. That's what I'm just like, I think that's what makes me very frustrated is that.
No, I think I see what you are saying. I think you have to see it from the perspective that they don't know, right? It's only when you know, then you act according. We are acting according to what we know. You understand? Those that come to realize that come, oh, this is a jungle, are actually doing something, right? So, and I think that's where the catch is. So the goal should be now coming to those who decided to say they want to lead. The goal is to actually let the people know, say, come on, we don't see front, waiting the front. No be adwa we dey do am so. We cannot, we can't even cross. Is the way we dey do so, right? But those that see the front, who are in the front, who know what's up, they turn their back and look at the followers, but and decide to lie to the followers too, right? But the question is that why did they lie? They lie because they
Exactly.
know. They lie because they know. If we are going to say let's carry everybody along, even we say we no go survive, which is okay. All of us, and nobody, everybody will no go survive anyway. We're all going to go. But they did not see it like that. They decided to say no. Let's sacrifice as much as we can sacrifice so that we will just follow that road. I don't know if you understand my analogy.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's just it's just pathetic to be honest. But
So
yeah,
because
that's
if you look at if we now break it down to how do I call it, city state, every country by country, right? So you also have to scale it all the way back. Like us now, when I'm use us, the British now then came in the name of what civilization, right? They did everything they needed to do. They lived the society the way they want it, right? They left the
yeah.
society the way they want it. Are you going to blame them? No, right? Because as you said, they are only after their own. So it is now for us to say, come on, like now, so we're supposed to be day, the better, the lack of phrase, right? So just like now, you now, like you you live your own life with your own rules, doing your own thing. Then you met significant other, right? Now look, oh, this one now, no be saying now somebody came and forced you to change your way of life, right? But because you want that person around you, you have to adjust. You change some of your way of life, right? Because the person is here. So
Yeah.
now the person no day again. You guys break up, whatever happened, but you guys are no longer together. If you continue to dey live the way as if the guy is here around, that's your choice, that's your fault. Whatever happened, good or bad, right? But common sense will make you adjust to the non, okay, this person is no longer here now, right? Let me learn how to live without him. You understand? That's
Yeah.
exactly our situation, right? Even though nobody say na agreement, we
Not
agree.
really.
So of course we no fit but the reality is that our life has been altered. Somebody forced their way into our life and they stayed. That amount of period they stayed, that land, something changed. Good or bad, but something changed. So it's now they've gone, right? So are we going to continue like that or not? I think that's a question we could not answer. We haven't get into that question first.
I
Some
get your
people
point.
understand that, why some people, yeah.
I get your
But
point.
I
Wait,
think
can you
okay,
hear
so you are
me?
just
Because
frustrated the fact that you cannot do anything. Is that what that you are frustrated? Go ahead.
wait, can you hear me? Because I feel like my internet is acting up.
No, no, no. You are clear. I can hear you.
Okay. Um, I get your point in terms of okay, finally, this person you're with has left you. It's time for you to decide what you want to do as a person, as an individual. But we both know in our case, this person did not just leave. They gave you this idea or this perspective that they left, but they never left. They left, but then the neighbor next door works for them, and the neighbor next door is the one, like, let's say, toasting you now, and you're trying to get in a relationship with them. So they never really left. So I think that's where we are. But that doesn't also that's not an excuse for you as a person not to sit down on your own and ask yourself, what exactly do you want? Why did I even leave this person? Or why did that person leave? So you can start picking up on certain clues. So I guess that's our fault as a people. But at the same time,
I agree,
we are
but
still playing
okay,
that game with those people that
listen to this. How many percentage of us do you think understand exactly what you just said, which is the truth, right? They've never left. How many of us do you think actually have that understanding? Because it's one thing to know what you just said, but to actually understand that they've not left so how many of us you think understand? Talking about Nigeria as a country,
I
that
would
we
say
are
probably
still under
10%.
people.
Probably 10%.
Now, do you think that is enough for us to 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 be aware enough to do something about our situation?
I don't think so.
Okay. Do you think those 10%? What do you think the job of those 10% should be or is?
Well, obviously the job of the 10% is to get as much people as possible to their boat. So increase that 10%. So you can have like a fighting chance. Because obviously you're too little to do anything. But the thing is that there the thing about being human is that you also have your weakness. And that weakness, at least in my I could speak for myself, is it's so frustrating and it's so annoying. And you have to have this like patience to deal with people. And if it's something I got to know about, like a bad behavior that you've nurtured for years, is that if you want to change that bad behavior, it takes time, patience, and dedication. And talking about behavior is different because, okay, let's say um, I have a bad behavior of not drinking water after eating. That's a different thing. But once you're talking about human life, this is things that actually, for us, we view as very much valuable. That is so much harder to deal with than just one or two behavioral things. And I think that's why it's so frustrating in our case because I heard someone basically tag Elon to come and help about this whole Sam Nnamdi Kanu situation. So I'm like, are you serious as a human being? Like, what do you expect this man to do? And when you start dealing and you realize that there are so many people on that level of thinking, that you're like, how do I even go down to their level to even have a conversation with them? And some people are so stuck on whatever they believe that you can't even get to them. So I think that's the frustrating part of it, that I'm just like, this seems like a joke. It's not true. This is not our entire existence to keep on dealing with this nonsense.
Let me let me see if I can help you not to be frustrated about the reality that you are just narrating, right?
Now, when you say they never left, one thing you should also take time to understand is that now they now that they've not left, that they are here, what are they doing? Right? It is because of their presence still being with us is why you are still seeing people who are reasoning the way you what you just said about somebody wants to revive Elon Musk, because that is their number one job now, right? Now that they are here, because they are, from my understanding, what you are saying that they've never learned is that indirectly, via some institution and instruments, they are still making things happen. So that's what they are doing now. They are contaminating everything that now has that is responsible for responsible for our behavior, right? Our education system, our social, the way we interact, social norms and government and everything. You understand? If you have time, study the talking about Elon Musk. This is their revolution with Doge, right? Or the USA ID, or their revolution. If you take your time, like you will be amazed. Like, as in, maybe that would make you. It's supposed to make you more angrier, but will console you. Say, okay, you understand? Because every aspect of our life, our teachers, our doctors, our nurses, everybody is pretty much under payroll. So that's why some things come natural to them. When you see some people are doing something, you will want to defend that person, that this person is doing something right. So that them not living as what they are still here for. So that 10%, which I think you are even being generous with that 10%,
Probably two
is that
percent.
is that they are not being they are self. That's where the selfish come from. Not necessarily not educated vision, and they are selfish because their job, right? Because they are privileged. We are privileged because we they included, right? It is a privilege to know what we know, to understand what we understand. So all they require from us is to increase that 10% to 11%. Our job is done. Because the freedom that we need it to live the way we want to. It's not going to be actualized by us that are alive now. You
Yeah,
understand?
it's
That's why
gonna
if you go
take
back to
time.
other countries, if you go to other countries that have history, there are very few people that they mention that actually if you are talking about the revolution of America and all that, you say, okay, how many people actually fight the war so they take their freedom? You never know, but there are a lot. But those few people understand where their role in society and work on that. So we educate another 5%, 10%, we go. That will increase. That will increase to the reasonable number, 25%, 30%, right? And that's how things. But I don't. We don't understand that just because of what you said. They are still here because they have been here is to make sure we never actually know who we are. Because if we don't even know who you are, where are you going to start from? I think that's where the frustration will come. The fact that you know you can see things clearly, like come, like how, but you forget that it took you. Now it is a privileged journey in a way, right? That got you here. So that's why they always say frustrated. Say, come. Now we don't understand the system we are. That's why the INEC will always tell you that 40 million people nine vote, 90 votes, and there's a truth to that. There's a truth to that. Because if you have to now go down memory, look at Nigerians, the way everybody they are, like, do you actually understand that? Come, it isn't a movie. I should talk about a movie we did for you, right?
Literally.
Where is the people? And it also contributes to the fact that we won't go heaven, right? The goal is to go heaven. Go do it. I don't know.
To be honest, I really don't know.
It's
Like people would rather believe in something that they're unsure of than to focus on something they're 100% sure of. Like, okay, fine,
yeah.
let's say the actual goal is actually heaven. Fine, that's fine. But like, what are you doing now, though? What are you doing now? We're all gonna go there regardless. That's 100% sure if that is true. But right now, you have that in your hand and you absolutely do not care about now. You care about something that you're not even sure of. That lucky also pisses me off too. But yeah, so many things I can mention that pisses me off.
Yeah, all those things are held together with one thing is that they flip us around. Like they flip us. So it's like we are supposed to be going this direction. They just change us. We are going backward. You understand? And that backward that we are going in is so at every junction they give you hope, right? Which is like what's happening. That they give you hope. Don't worry. You get to that place, you are closer. You know? So, and once you're on that kind of journey, nobody can convince you say you are not on the right journey because you are seeing evidence, right? You are seeing evidence that okay, but what you fail to understand is that that journey will no get end. Now you go determine how it go take end. Whoever that program you on that journey don't even want you to look back. I think that's exactly our problem.
True, true.
Because as we they go, as we they actually seek clear with the complaint, there are some few people among us who are doing excellently well, doing better than those who are in a society that the things are getting better, right? So oftentimes those are the people they use to renew our hope. You understand? That's why
Yeah.
you have to be successful for your society to believe that you are even not a sinner. Church go tell you if you no get money, you are a sinner. So, like, how can millions of people actually believe that? You understand? And the painful thing is that the man who is telling you that he himself knows in a lying the lie. And that's what I'm struggling to understand. Like, which kind of human being as in we actually are as human? You know deep down that what you are saying a lie. It's never happened. But you spend your whole life just, I mean, that dedication, man. I think you need that, Bumi.
I need
You need
what?
that kind of you need that kind of a dedication of a pastor, right? Like every day you know say everything where they talk and do not lie.
Oh, that's the selfishness you're talking about. Because yes, they know it's a lie, but it's not a lie for them. They know what they're getting out of that lie. If they're not getting anything from the lie, then that's when I can, okay, fine. You're even deceiving your own self. But majority of the time, they're only deceiving you. They have, I mean, they're fine. They're good. So it's the other
Yeah.
half of the population that is just wayward or like not reaping whatever they're selling. Because if you deep it, like majority of the people who are like diplomatic uh people like that, they get to experience the world with no problem. No problem. It's the average person that doesn't get to experience whatever is going on in north or south of the world. And I, I really don't know how people keep on falling for that.
Is so the little and the 10% that you are talking about, they use that energy instead to just keep having their way and making us believe that now we be the problem. So let me play this your guy and tell me what you think. He's been consistent in a way.
I've said it before, and I'm going to repeat it again. When I came into partisan politics, my loyalty is not to any political party or any politician. My loyalty is to the country, to the constitution, to the people. before I begin to contemplate political party and politicians. And so I don't quit. I've made up my mind I've come for the betterment of Nigeria and to be a servant. And I've made up my mind that stable democratic culture is the best way to go. In this, I will not quit. But when I am in a midst of a people that do not share the same ideology, who believes that strength or might is right, and who believes that you have to do it anyhow, provided you're succeeding with it, that it's a success. Whenever I'm in the midst of such people, and if they have vowed not to change their ways to the right way, I will quit them. Because tell me who your friends are, and I will tell you who you are. Tell me, the scriptures said, evil communication corrupts good manners. So you cannot be in association with people who are obviously not moving in the right direction and claim that you will be the only saint amongst them. So I do not quit, and I will not quit. So I do not defect, because my membership of a political party depends on that political party, not on another party. So the strengths and weaknesses of the party I am in is what I consider to join or to leave the party. Since I am not a man that is double-faced, I'm not used to double alliance. When I'm done with one, I'll conclude it, and I will withdraw, and then I will strategize, and I will think of the next way to go. Coalition will always be better, because democracy is about numbers, it's about cohesion. The more the merrier. The more we are together, the happier we shall be. If the opposition is serious at making any attempt in 2027, and one reason that I left Labour Party, by February 25th, the next election, presidential election, will be 2 years. And legitimately political alliances, alignments and realignments are supposed to commence. And then there is a party that has not even articulated who their leaders are, and they are not even willing to make compromise. And so from that 2 years on, is it believable that Tinubu has spent 2 years in office? Yes, it is. 50% of his time. The way the last 2 years just got evaporated, that's the way the next 2 years is going to be. So any party that is still broiled in a lot of controversy and confusion and conflicts will likely not even be qualified to contest for the 2027 election. So coalition will always be better. A broad base of people of diverse culture, diverse ethnicity, diverse religion coming together, making the necessary sacrifice and compromise will be the best thing, and the only thing probably that will take out this incompetent APC. This APC government has been really very terrible. Their arrogance is legendary, and their ignorance is palpable. And I give you an example whenever I make any assertion. The ignorance of APC, you heard as they are talking when they were making budgets. Everything is rising in price. The tariffs. Electricity tariff is going to rise probably by 65%. You can see how even telecommunication has risen. You can see we are still paying a lot in transportation, in energy, etc. And this APC government had the audacity to tell Nigerians that in 2025, they are going to reduce inflation to 15%. Meanwhile, we are suffering cost of production, induced inflation. How on earth is this possible? This is sheer ignorance, and this is sheer arrogance in admitting that you have failed. So seeing all these failures, it will be also the failure of the opposition that are not able to articulate their stand, come together as one, and take out this incompetent government.
Bumi. So, you see, just like what we are talking about now, even though me and you, we know Grace here will be there among the 10%. Clearly, we cannot, what's his name? Kenneth cannot deny the fact that it's among those that are supposed to be enlightened people. But here you are, is caught up. I don't understand. Maybe you understand it better. He is criticizing individual for not being
following their word with action, is criticizing every political party that is not better. But at the same time, his solution is for him to wait to see who is going to join among the same party that is criticizing, that one in power or the one that don't know what they are doing. So, I mean, I don't know. What do you think is happening here? Is it laziness that he can't start his own party? Can't he start just as you're saying, organizing people? I mean, why? After articulating all the problem that which everybody will agree with, but you can't sit down and say, okay, man, they wait. I will join them later.
The biggest problem is this whole Messiah complex that you
Mm.
need someone to save you. And like you said, if he's realizing that the Labour Party is not a party that, you know, truly even knows what they're doing, which is fine. You can come to a realization some point. But why are you waiting for someone else to stand up when you're already stood? You're already standing, but you're still waiting for someone else to stand up. Like, and to be honest, I also think this whole idea of joining a party and then leaving a party and joining is so ridiculous. Like, it just shows that like our biggest problem is like you said, because you used to mention it, it's just organizing and standing for something. Because like for the longest time, people thought, okay, the next party that's gonna stand up, just like the APC stood up, would be the Labour Party. But like you're literally seeing that the Labour Party is crumbling too, and some people will still choose people from those party as their leaders. Like you can't even hold a party together. How are you supposed to lead versus like lead a society? I I don't like that's why I say, is this a joke? This sounds like a joke. It really is a joke. Please tell me
Right?
this is a joke.
When somebody that know better that's supposed to do better is acting as if he has no clue. So I agree, it is a
Like,
joke. Unfortunately, it's not.
I am starting to realize something because as much as I'm not a big fan of Tinubu as a person, there are certain things that he did that I'm like, if you truly say you want the betterment for the society, just copy those things that he did. In terms of like he has been very vocal about what he believes in. Okay, whether it's for the benefit of the society or not, very much a benefit for him though, and he's been very clear about it. You know, he stands for it. He like people talk about back in his days of being a senator, being a governor of Lagos State, when he calls for protests and he calls for certain things that the government are doing. And I'm like, those are the things you should look at and ask yourself, why are they winning? What can I take out of it and implement it, but for the betterment of the society? Because if you're truly saying you're there for the people, you need to look at what your opponents are doing and what you're doing that is wrong. This whole changing of party thing is just ridiculous. It's really just very ridiculous. I'm not. Most people can say what they want about Sure, but something he has made clear is he's not going to be going up and down from one party to another. He has said what he has said, and he's standing by it. I think people should start looking at certain things each of these people, individuals are doing, pick it and ride on it. But we cannot keep on waiting for someone else to save us. You can't because that tagging Elon to come and save us. Like, what kind of person are you that you're tagging that person to come and save us? You have to save your own self. Nobody's gonna come die for this whole Nigerian identity. Like, why? If we truly believe in who we are, then we have to die for who we say we are, not those people.
You go, you
Yeah,
you will like this. You will like this one. You remember, you know, a man called Babacheri Lawal?
Sorry, who?
Babacheri Lawal. Let me see. The guy was a former secretary to the federal government. Not sure where he was. Can you see this face?
Oh,
You
okay,
know
yeah,
him.
yeah.
So, you know, there were, and then be the, after I decided to leave APC because, according to him, Tinubu Muslim ticket is not going to work because he is a Christian from the north. So he left Tinubu and he's a very close friend of Ali of Tinubu. In fact, the rumor has it that he's the one that actually led the team that bought the ticket for Tinubu. But to everybody's shock, he left at the eve of the election because Muslim ticket is not going to help him being a Christian in the north. Now, fast forward to today. Today, let me tell you what he said. So he's in support of in responding to Erufai, he's saying that is going to join force with Erufai to see that Tinubu is not re-elected in 2027. Right now, one would say, "Okay, what's wrong with that? Is outside as an opposition." But this is a man that was telling the whole world that Obi is the guy. So what happened? Is Obi longer not interested or is no longer capable of running the country? And he wants to join force with Erufai, who is a Muslim, because his whole reason for not supporting his friend is because his friend picked a Muslim running mate. You
Hmm.
see,
Interesting. This is interesting.
it's crazy. Like literally, it's not saying that he's going to reinforce his commitment, right? It's not saying, okay, this is why my principal will be lost. This is what they did. We did wrong. This is what they did to us. Because the funniest thing is that the people who are on the losing side, even though they're not believe they lose, they have never one day talked about what they actually do wrong. So as if they never did anything wrong. They just did the wrong thing. Like I never I know that's one part I don't understand. They say who they cry they see road, right? You cannot tell me you ran a election, you don't make mistake. Yes, you were robbed, but are
How did
you
they
going
rob
to
you?
correct the mistake? How did they rob you?
Did you leave your door open? How tall is your gate? Did you fence the gate? Like all of the things you need to ask yourself and not just crying that oh you got like we don't leave it you what is so surprising is that you know the society you live in. You're literally saying this is what we have wrong as a society. We talk about, you know, INEC, how they play their games and everything. And then we act surprised when we get the same outcome we've been having for how many years. It's like you know all of this. You know when they did the whole let's go, take it to court, go to court. And I'm like, you know our court system. Like, you know who they are. It's not that they brought some random foreigner, some alien to come and be the judge. Like you know these people. You know the constitution. We know all these things. And you're still surprised and shocked and you're still like crying or wallowing in whatever. And I think one of the things that's gonna happen again is the next election is gonna come and the same thing is gonna happen again. And then we're gonna keep on going like that, keep on going like that. One thing that shocked me the most was um when Buhari came into power. When he came into power, I didn't know much. I was relatively young then. I didn't even know who that man was. I just knew people were shouting his name. He's going to be president, which is fine. But then you observe him for 4 years, And I remember when I actually called my mom and I was like, well, when is the next election? Because obviously there's no way you guys, like, Buhari needs to go because it's clear he hasn't done anything. And then she told me that election already happened. And I was like, what do you mean already happened? This is what I told you, this is a joke, because I thought she was joking. They're like, this one, you're funny. There's no way you're going to have this man for 4 years. Obviously, hasn't done anything. You're telling me election already happened. I'm like, seriously, when is the next election? She's like, it already happened. So I'm like, okay, fine. You're stuck with this man for 8 years. Obviously, the next election, you guys know better. Like, there ain't no way someone's going to come and finesse you again. We're already 2 years in a similar government situation. How are you not asking yourself, how are they finessing us like this every single time? How? My conclusion that this is a joke and sometimes someone's going to wake up and tell us that, okay, joke's over, because it's not making any sense. It's not even, like, it's so annoying.
Isn't a joke over?
I want to conclude as a joke because I'm so pissed. And the only way to keep me sane is just to, when you go to all those and someone tells like a dark humor, that's how it feels like. Dark humor.
So yeah, I mean, anytime you just in that mood, you just go find one history book. Then you understand. Oh, okay, this is why these people are acting the way they are acting. Because it's crazy. We complain that this situation is bad. The funniest thing, because we are so used to complain that even the person that we are complaining about is the good of this situation is bad. So all of us agree one thing. Every one of us, regardless of your belief, we all agree. Go, things are bad. But for some reason, I don't know. I don't think we are not ready to do anything about it. Or we dey expect. And I think what I can't really understand is that why things they always get is getting worse, regardless of the next person will make things worse. I think it has to do with a psychological effect, right? And I want to believe that this elite, they do on purposely. As you said, when Buhari come, right? Nothing actually good about him. They themselves demarket him, say he's a devil. But guess what? They make him the president. Now, making the president, nothing change, it gets worse. But as you said again, you are expecting okay, say okay, this 4 years don't go, the man don't go. But for your greatest surprise, the bigger and come back. Then you now ask yourself, you now ask yourself, there are people out there who in real sense they are worse than Buhari, like they are worse than the way people are seeing it, right? But for the fact that Buhari win, it gives them more moral. Say, man, I can do it. You understand what I mean, right? Because because if a president somebody win, I say that person, this is how he won. Like he went through a lot of all the you first of all assess yourself, say, come on. Deep down, no, I'm not up to this guy. I'm not as capable as this guy. So let me go and work harder, right? On your own first before you bring yourself out. So now, I said that to say now we are the same people are saying Bola Tinubu now here now. In fact, if you say Bola Tinubu is not doing well, you say hey, like cliche and normal. We told you now before, right? But the question is that the fact that we all come to that agreement that he is bad, and we keep saying he's bad, we don't stop at a point to say, okay, what do we do? Right? We complain till the last minute. Then all of a sudden we are in shock again that oh we get somewhere that is worse.
For
So when you
real.
say it is a joke, it is a joke. But this time, it is a joke that somebody is actually writing down and just give the scene, go play am. You know? So I think that's what it is.
Cause I asked myself, okay, fine. There are certain people there, no, there are certain reasons why people might want to vote for Tinubu. I'm like, fine, you can fall to your blind side. Fine, that's fine. We can make a mistake once in a while. But for example, the next election in 2027, I'm like, okay, fine. As a society, let's say we all agree that, okay, whether you want PDP, APC, you vote whatever. But if we all agree that within 3 months, within 6 months, whatever, we as a society come to an agreement that whoever is in power, these are certain things we want as a society. That's what it means to stand up to these people. What we are doing is that you pick a person, the person comes, does whatever, and you're letting them do whatever, and then you're crying. You're not even standing for it. If we complain about, okay, INEC, you ask yourself, okay, how do you make INEC better? And then we campaign on that so that whoever comes in wouldn't be a dictatorship. For example, this American situation. The reason why America, no matter who comes in, they still are a society that still moves forward. Whether you can complain on inflation or pricing, capitalism or that, is because they have systems that will check them. Whether you say Donald Trump is a crazy man, he's a da-da-da-da-da, there are certain things he cannot do, and he can't even try to even do them. Because there's certain things that they will always check him on. And I was thinking that these are things that we will want to implement as a society. That, okay, whoever we vote for, we have to have this. If we don't have this between 3 months, 6 months, a year, then you're a failure. But we don't. We ride so much on this Messiah thing that if they come, they have every right to stay there for 4 years, and that's it. And I think maybe that's down to what you say about like the psychology thing. It's like, why are we thinking like that? That someone gets there and stays there for the rest of their life, and they just walk away. Because you can't tell me Buhari just walked away. The man just walked away and he's leaving wherever. I don't know if he's in Paris or if he's in Nigeria, but the man is there. So you're telling me I can go into, if I ever get there, that if they let me, I can go do absolutely nothing and I just walk away. That's a very scary system. And people are fine with that mentality. Whether you love Tinubu or whether you hate him, the fact is that he can walk away, whether it's in 4 years or in 8 years, and nothing will happen to him, period. That's the society we live in, and people are comfortable with that. Whether you love Obasanjo or you hate him, the man is chilling in that country peacefully. Whether you think Jonathan, whether you
Let me cover my ugly feet before you come. Sorry, Bumi, go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, so whether you think Jonathan is a weak man, he's a strong man, he's a whatever, the man is chilling, period. That's the society we live in. There is no check and balance. There is no way to really mold the leader to be what you want them to be for your society. They choose whatever we be as society, and they get to go away with that. That, I think we need to start asking ourselves more on that question, or more on that. Are you still there?
Hey, I'm here. I'm here. I'm trying to say that he never left. You said that he came in and just left like that. Why he never left? Well, he's still getting paid, still coming around. His boys are still in power. So if he decide to just live like that, they will catch him. So he
No, but
never
like
left.
him as a person has left.
Right.
And if you look at all of them, they're all like that. Because we can sit here and debate whose presidency is best, whose presidency is worst. Doesn't change the fact that whoever that president we're talking about is still there. That does not change any fact. We talk about our constitution, it doesn't change the fact that our constitution is just there. Everything that we talk about, everything we complain about is just there. It stays there, it remains there. So yeah, I don't know. I really like that we look at other countries and see how they treat each other, like how they treat their politicians, and maybe let's just try and implement that. Maybe because I don't know. It's just I don't know because I'm tired of just like saying the same thing over again, like saying the same thing over again. Like people are talking about them stealing money, corruption. There's corruption almost everywhere. But how do you react to that corruption? That's where we need to fall under. We talk about United States with this whole stuff Trump is doing, showing so many holes that all of their institutions have, and how money just goes on missing. Yeah, that happens almost everywhere. But what is your reaction to it? That's our question. Fine, they have stolen $1 billion, let's say, in the Nigerian system. What are you going to do about it? That's literally the main thing because humans will be tempted and people will fall for temptation. How do you react to that temptation? That's just what I don't know.
Let's watch this.
The collective finance work, okay? Are you crazy? This is where I'm sitting. So you let me go first. I'm not gonna get out of here. Who the heck do you think you are? If you wanted to go first, do you think? Nonsense. What is all this?
I want to hike. Yes,
What's
sorry.
that?
You know that was is
What's that? Who's that?
that's Obiano, the former Anambra governor, the immediate past Anambra governor's wife. Remember, I slapped Ojukwu wife one time.
Oh,
But why is she not flying private?
everybody's living fake life. Like, what do you mean?
She's a former first lady, the governor's wife for 8 years. They don't thief money, they're stolen enough. So
They
why
clearly
came
didn't.
back?
They didn't steal enough. Because if they did steal enough, then she wouldn't be there. They needed to steal more. But like,
It's just
I don't get why
embarrassing
was she
myself.
shouting? Why was she shouting exactly? What did the man do? Do you know any? Do you have any information on that?
Let me see if I see. Let me read what it's a gossip column, so you know how it is. Just they won't tell you the details like that. Let me see. But you know how commercial plane is now. You want to move, she wants to move, you know, stuff like that. I guess maybe person recognize them again and wants to play with her intelligence. Just wants to get her on her nerves and person succeeded. So this it reads. I say a video making rounds online shows the moment the first lady of Anambra State, Ebele Obiano, was having an altercation with a fellow passenger in airline. Ebele was captured standing on the aisle while arguing with a passenger who appeared to be a Caucasian male. Interesting. Now, okay, they live in Houston, so it is uncertain. It's uncertainty what led to the heated arguments. But Ebele was seen lambasting the passenger, insisting she was not leaving the way. Meanwhile, a bureau the change operator Ibata. So Ibatanko, whatever, trials Willoughby has claimed that a total of what is us now. So I mean, the first, all everything that they've stolen. Why is she still flying commercial? She should be. They should be flying private now. Come on. I mean, they never steal it. They never steal it though.
The things that they be stealing, they don't be investing. Because money can finish. You have to invest it so you keep on having more money. I wonder if this all this like politicians like if they steal and invest because like because yes you hear all those amount they steal but I'm like what are you doing with that money even for yourself, just please tell me you're investing with that money for yourself at least. So at least I know you're getting money back on a regular. Because if you just steal 1 billion and that's all, you just steal it and then you're just spending it, then that's just a really stupid way to spend money. Because that money is gonna finish. And obviously, it's already clear that you're already greedy from the start. So you're going to spend that money in a very greedy way, just maybe buying unnecessary things. And like, if you're buying houses, depending on where you're buying it, if you're buying in America, you have to pay taxes. And if you default on it, basically the banks, they own all of this thing. You don't truly own anything. So you constantly have to keep on having money to keep on having money. Maybe that's a case whereby yes, they steal money, but they didn't use the money properly. That's why she's probably flying economy or something.
To me, that's your gender acting there. Okay, but listen to this man. Maybe you understand more why she's like that.
You can see that clearly how devastating it is. Now you can no longer, conduct election free, fair in this country. You have to do vote buying. You have to undermine the internal democracy in the political party system in the country to even emerge. They have killed even active membership in the political party system. You have some people who are the leaders or who are the fathers and mothers of the political party. So one person decides who becomes senator, who becomes House of Rep, who become, even councillor. That is the kind of system you have in the political party. There's no genuine political party membership that allows members' participation in the decision making, and ownership of the party. So you have to fix that. That's why we've been calling up political party reforms in the country, so that it is no longer this kind of system where, it is only the governor, the president who are the, people that decide everything. As it is now, whatever the president wants, that is what will happen at the ruling party, for example, at the national level. At the state level, whatever the governor wants is what will happen. That is not what is obtainable in Nigeria in the First Republic and the Second Republic. You have a clear distinction between the party officials and the government that is in place, But now, since Obasanjo came to combat himself as party leader, that's how this continues to happen in the country. So the president is everything. In the Second Republic, you see when the ruling party, which was MPN, you see the party leader at that time, you would see he was very prominent.
You talk about party supremacy.
Exactly. And you see the president playing his own role, But in this system, since 1999, you could see that everything has been coerced, everything it is centered around the president or the governor. So we have to do something.
Secondly, go ahead.
Secondly, you have to do something about judicial corruption in this country. Nigerians are completely losing confidence in the ability of our judiciary to dispensate justice, because some people are procuring judgment, even not to be, cautioned for corruption they perpetrated in their state or in any public office. You cannot have such kind of system that a judge will give a perpetual injunction that after you have looted the state or the office you occupied, that nobody should even ask question, not talk of, investigating you, not talk of even asking your associate. This is the kind of judgment that some judges are giving. There's no way democracy can flourish with such kind of sin. So you rig election, you say let's meet in the court, and now court is taken over the role of INEC. Judiciary have taken the role of INEC.
Now,
thirdly, the civil space that had been undermined, is also another pointer to how democracy cannot flourish. If you undermine the press freedom, you undermine civil society to, raise issues around human rights abuses, around, corruption, and you frame them, jail them, attack them because they speak about the evils of some people, then definitely there's no way, you can have a flourishing democracy that we want, because these are indicators on how democracy actually works, and these are the tenets of democracy, which is on the basis of principle of accountability, transparency, public participation, and freedom of expression. And if you block all those, there's no way you can actually have a flourishing democracy that will allow ventilation of ideas and constructive criticism that will lead to improved governance in the country. Sadly, this is what we are experiencing.
Olubumi.
Interesting.
So now, you see why all these people are the best for them, Kenneth and everything. They are convincing the ordinary person what to do, where to go, who to support, and all that, right? And it's because you can see their bullshit. That's why I say, well, this is a joke. I'm not just going to listen to all this thing. So you find a way, right, to be able to take yourself out of that trauma of what next as a voter, right? And that is because even if you go 3 months, you come back, just listen to them 2 minutes, you know where they are and what's in their agenda. So tell me, when the ordinary person they listen to these people who they are waiting for them for direction, and this is where we are.
Hmm. I don't know. Maybe you know what you say about the 10, like when I say 10%, but obviously it's less than that. Maybe the real thing is that people are too lazy and people just want to get information. And I think maybe the thing that we should start doing as a society is just pushing for people to go find out for themselves. Because I was in this live and they were talking about the history of Nigeria, and this person was talking, and you could see that so many people disagree with the history he was given, and the person was like, "Fine, these are some books. Read it yourself, and then let's come back and have this conversation again." So it's not it doesn't seem like, oh, I'm forcing this history on you, because you know how you can be lying or whatever. They're telling you, take your 2 legs and hands, your eyes, go and read for yourself, and come back and let's have this discussion. And I think that's what this Kenneth Okonkwo guy is doing, whereby he's not doing, sorry, he's saying that let's wait for someone to tell us what to do. But let's not do any work ourselves. Let's just wait. Because if you have done the research yourself, you can see through so many BS these people tend to deliver. They tell you whether it's how the country's being run, whether it's this whole, whether it's the local level or the government or the federal level, you can see through all of these policies they put in place. For example, the policy of, you remember the cashless policy they tried to implement before the election period and that. If people had done some research themselves, they realized that in a Nigerian society, that's not possible. How many people have access to an ATM? How many people can actually afford to go cashless in that society? And they can see all through this. But because they just listen to people talk, you want to listen to people talk, but you don't even want to understand. How did that person even come to that conclusion? Why should I even trust this person? You can only do that if you have some form of knowledge yourself. I think that's what 1% should do. Just give the people information. I don't think it is for us to determine how Nigeria should go and just come and talk about, oh, this person is corrupt, he's lying, he's still. No one cares. We need to ask yourself, what systems do we have in place that has made it possible for this person to actually steal that amount of money? you can only have that conversation if people are to some extent informed about how their society even runs. We talk about, okay, maybe a federal system is not the best thing for Nigeria because everything is all centered in the center. Maybe we should do some research on regional, maybe not the ones we had before, but like a new system that can actually work for us. But we need to do reading. We need to do reading. And you see this whole example people be bringing up of like, oh, America is like, no, you cannot just give America as an example. You need to understand the foundation of America. Why is not America like that? Why is the UK like that? Why is the Netherlands like that? But you have to read for yourself. You really have to. I think maybe one time, I don't know, because I tend to listen to your platform sometimes, but not all the time, because your hours be, you be, sometimes when you're online, I have work or I have classes or I'm studying. But I would say maybe sometimes maybe we should just focus solely on just like learning some certain things on the past itself and not focusing too much on like the news.
You
Do you
want
get what I'm
to
saying?
you want to drive a curriculum for that, like it's topics that we'll be talking about.
Yeah, because I feel like cause that's what really shapes people's thinking.
No, you're
Not
right.
just
That's
because
what
if
we
we
need to
talk,
do.
yeah, because if we talk about there's so many news, so many breaking news about Nigeria. Oh, this policy, da 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 da, and we can all talk about it, and it's easy for us to talk about it, and it's easy for us to realize that they're all BS. None of them are going to work because of the society we have, the way certain things are structured. But if we start looking at certain foundational problems that we have, I think maybe it'd be easier for us to see through all these people talking nonsense.
You're right. Because pretty much what they talk about is every day. All you need to do is just go back to 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and listen to people like Kenneth. He said the same thing. And it is because we don't actually read, know about history. That's why I keep repeating itself. And that's what when people say history repeat itself, this is what they mean. All right. We complain about the same thing, but we repeat it. So that's because there is no time in between to actually learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I, one thing that was so fascinating is I'm very interested in the Japanese culture and just Japanese society itself, and just reading how, after the whole World War II and that, obviously they were not doing so well based on certain things that happened to them. But look at them now. How did they get there? What did they do after? When you talk about when they started producing and exporting things, certain products were seen as inferior and all those things. How they have slowly grown to like almost everything you have. Samsung is a Japanese product, sorry, company. You know, down to their cars and all this, and how they slowly push themselves in the market. If we start knowing certain things they did as a society, tell me if we had a new president and we observe certain policies he's making, we'll be able to tell that, okay, this man is not serious. He's really there just to eat money, because you can't tell me it's been 2 years now. What are we doing as a society since this man came in? This is not me saying I hate the man, but this is just me realizing that he's not putting certain things, like he's not acting like someone that actually wants the betterment for the country, the betterment of the country. But majority of people don't see that because they have not seen a society that actually started from the bottom and now they're there. Because they don't read about good society. And even if they're reading about America, they're reading about America now. You can't read about America now. America now has already put institution in place to check certain things. So that's why they will forever be having a certain outcome consistently. You have to read America back. Well, America is not even a good example, to be honest, when it comes to Nigeria situation, because we all know how the country even came into existence. We don't have a similar existence as they do. We don't have some form of labor, free labor, or whatever you want to call the slavery, and finding a empty piece of land, and well, it wasn't empty, but you get my idea. We don't have that. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's where I like what you just pointed out, right? Like what major difference about us in America is that they have free labor, right? But the Chinese never had free labor, but they used themselves. What do I mean? There was a point in their history, everybody earned the same salary. Doesn't matter your qualification, your experience, it's just a flat rate, right? That period they focus on developing themselves. So of course the motivation was low, the people were not that motivated and all that. But at the same time, everybody was pretty much okay. Right? So they sacrificed that competition and just focus on themselves. So I think that's one thing we don't want to do. We are spoiled slaves. I'm not talking we are spoiled children. Because we are saying we be spoiled children, who spoil us? It's not that our our like one empire where they come from, right? So we are spoiled. We no understand they come. In order to build now we and na pure labor now we go actually do am. I think that's where the problem is, what you just pointed out. So from the one, some people believe saying that them be oga. So above for because they go like standard one, standard six, there are some jobs, there are some things that they cannot do in the society. Some things are meant for some people. So yeah, so that's what I mean. That's what I mean that we are spoiled. So we're now looking for who is coming to do the job. Don't forget that every society actually sacrifice. Just like the example the Japanese that you use, right? The Japanese were leveled. They destroyed them. America dropped them better bomb. Level pretty much everywhere.
Better bomb. That is
like
crazy.
like no building standing. But the
Do
few
you
people who did there, they had to learn the hard way. They liberate themselves. Nobody is coming to, even somebody is coming to help. They have to be in a position to absorb the help.
do you think, because when you observe all this majority of all the society that are very much de- developed and well off, do you think that one of the reason why they're okay is because they have to be okay? For example, the country I'm in, it's currently winter. There are certain things that if we don't have done, we are not going to make it through winter. Like food, for example, it's winter, there's barely anything growing, so you have to make sure you're ready in the summer for the winter itself. Do you think one reason why, maybe, I want to be specific because I don't like talking about Africa as a whole, maybe why Nigeria is the way it is because life itself in that environment is relatively chilled. Yes, we talk about, okay, rainy season, how certain things can get flooded, but you can still exist there. It's like it's not that your life is so threatened that you might actually die this season. But these people, if they don't get their acts together, they can actually die. Do you think maybe that's a reason why we're very nonchalant when it comes to like pushing forward
Yeah,
for ourselves?
yeah. I think we don't seem to understand that to survive you have to earn it, right? We think life is free. Yes, life is free, but as you say, once they understand, they need to survive. If not, they will die off.
Yeah.
There's a need for so now that's first thing first is survival. How do we survive? Now that I want to survive. I'm succeeded in surviving today. What about tomorrow? Right? What about next tomorrow? So that's how they think. It's survival. And I think again you can argue that maybe it's due to their experience. These people they fight them, they don't see themselves eye to eye for one reason that they always are war. But on our own case, but why I'm not quick to say that we don't actually understand survival is because I don't know my history 300 years ago. You understand? I don't know my people 300, 500 years ago. What was life like? You
I
understand
mean,
what I
okay,
mean?
let me ask you, or let me just maybe expand on that. I think the direction I'm going more into, yes, I get the perspective of fighting, constantly trying to protect yourself. That's understandable. Um, but I think the direction I'm coming from is that our geographical location itself is kind of a safe place for like alone. So if let's say if you're in Nigeria and like okay, someone is trying to fight you, you just need to hide from that person. But over here, let's say someone is trying to fight you or like destroy you, you have to hide from that person, but you also have to hide from nature itself. So it's like there are two things you have to put into perspective. But I feel like maybe we only have like one thing to put into perspective, and that's why we're kind of chilled about it because you just need to make sure that whoever your neighbor is a chilled guy. You don't really need to focus on nature too much because nature is not very harsh like that. Yes, it's hot, but it's not that hot.
Yeah, but that's I think okay, I think I agree with what you are saying, but we also need to understand how the the world today, right? How we arrive at what it is today. First of all, they cannot survive as what is their survival chance outside that environment? Natural now, forget fighting against each other. Like, what is their survival chance if you take them out of that environment? It's just
Yeah,
like if you take fish out of water to land, what is the survival chance of that fish?
basically none.
You understand? So I think that's one because why I say you have to consider how the world that we have today, how it's come to being, is because the Americas, the whole Americas, no be so easy before. From Brazil
Yeah,
to Argentina to Canada, that's not you understand. So in a way, they still find a way out of that physical. Those who could not survive in that kind of geographical environment still have to find their way out. That's
agree.
why I said that's why I said the America that we see today is not before. That's why I said when the European came, they cleared the land, right? Clearing the land means you understand
Yeah,
whatever that is
yeah.
there before that you got to go, right? And I think that's another thing should be in our own questions with that way they are thinking that our own geography favor us, right? What happened if their only survival depends on our own geographical area?
I mean,
You
that's
ever
what is
thought of that?
happening right now.
Exactly. So you will be gone. Where did they go? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, and
So
that's what I'm saying. That like, is it why we're a bit nonchalant about that? Because they can see that if they don't act now, they are gone. But us, even if we don't act now, we're still gonna be. At least
no,
you can still
yes,
be a slave.
I agree. We are not no, we are not nonchalant. It's just that we believe we are from Zion, right? As we they come up for here, we they go heaven. There's a place that we are. So, so you understand? Just as you leave your village now, your village is not doing well. You just pack your bags, you go Europe. If to say Europe no day as an alternative, or they don't make they put it in our the mainland to our head. Now here we go die. Now Nigeria will go die put. There's nothing like you want fly, come on, no. We will still there, right? Trying to learn how to survive and figure it out.
Okay, so going back to our present geopolitics, you can see that
Hmm.
so many countries are moving to that direction of making it impossible for people to even japa. Japa is becoming unattractive to an extent because so many people have jackpot, and there's only a certain percentage of people they can actually take in or look at. So my question, so what I'm trying to ask,
I know they hear you. If you can hear me, I can hear you. AB, I know that that they did brain work. I know now. We trying to simplify it. I'm just trying to give a context to it. So nobody saying that brain work I do. I understand. We are saying the same thing. She asked that question because she want me to put context to it. Bumi, I don't know if you can hear me. I can.
wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Where did I don't know, where did I stop? Where did you stop hearing me? Because I feel like I went off.
I think from the beginning, say as you just start.
Okay. So I my since we have discovered where we are presently,
Yeah.
if you go back to geopolitics, our current geopolitics in terms of majority of all these countries are being on are basically making Japa unattractive. You know, if you listen to certain direction that the UK or just let's just talk about America itself, how they're
Mm.
being very strict about who comes in, who comes out, even though we both know they're just picking and choosing who comes and stays. They're still gonna let people come. Uh, if they start making it hard for people to leave the country, so let's say this place they're going is heaven. If they're making it hard for us to get to heaven, now forcing everybody to stay back on this environment, do you think we're going to start taking things serious?
No. The we will start taking things serious when we get freedom, when we are free. Now, this is what I mean. Those who are leading again, back to the where we start, who are the front, they know that we are not free, right? But they believe that they
Yeah.
can buy their freedom, which is what that's why they go live where they believe is free. Earlier, where they you understand, that's what they think. While we the followers, we are under the illusion that we get freedom. You understand? So the fact that we've not realized that we are not free. It's one, two. There's escape routes now, which is the heaven I talk about. One thing again, you should know them. They've already have escape plan because they believe even the comfort that place that we think that is comfortable for us. It's just a matter of time because before it go become too unbearable. Climate change, all right? Where are they going? They are not preparing to go to heaven. They want to go to space and Mars. Literally, as we speak, that's what Elon Musk and what Jeff Bezos is about. Jeff Bezos focus on Mars. Elon Musk focus on what? And Jeff Bezos focus on space. Elon Musk focus on Mars. In case it's unbearable, and this is a reality. We are talking about reality we face ourselves today. Another thing again, transhumanism, cheap people, robot, and all
Consciousness
that.
and that.
Exactly. So that's another escape route for them, right? We, our escape route is divine. We die, we go heaven. That's what it's supposed to be. So your question being the reality of today that they are no longer allowing us. No, I don't think it's a matter of they are not allowing us, right? It's a matter again of that knowing who you are and you don't want anything to contaminate it. Why I said that to use China as an example, right? or you can go back to their history to thousands of years. They just they rewrite and they continue, they come, right? Nobody has ever infiltrated them until the last 150 years, right? They protected themselves. You cannot come in. That last 150 years, coupled with the 100 years of humiliation. The 100 of your humiliation is because people came in and now they determine they, they people come into their space, they determine to tell them how to live and all that, right? That's what they fought over that years. We not the other way around now. The idea that they are not making Jackpot more, they are making it unbearable for us. It is the reality of today again on their own side because you have to actually focus on their own side, right? For the past, let's say the last 300 years until like 60 or 70 years ago, right? Now hustle then they were building. Hence, you talked about earlier on labor, right? They bring us. That's the process of the building. So it isn't a good. You are doing you a favor. You are no, because at the beginning, I force then force you. Going back to who we used to be, we then force you to come build that, right? Then from forcing to educating you to you now, they chase that the same thing going. But why you feel see they don't need you again? It's not that they are making it difficult for you. Literally, you are not needed. You need to understand there's a reason why you were needed before. The first batch of us we travel across the Atlantic, they were first sold whatever to come and do what labor. Literally make that place conducive when you're talking about weather related condition, right? In order for them to feel they comfortable for there, some things have to be built. And over the years, they fight themselves to see who get the right idea, but they eventually storm on gold, which is us. The Packers a must do that. We have gone from that kind of survival, which is you have to dig the ground to eat physically, which is the agricultural revolution. They've gone from that place to industrial revolution. What happened? They have to now educate us. Because all our education is to surface them, to make them comfortable for them. Again, back to your earlier question, right? So the educators, they know one way they come because they don't discover another way to augment our physical distance. So they work on our brain, they now schools, all our they come educate you there, which go back again what you said earlier on that they've never left. Right? So when I say if we start breaking it down, that phrase, that statement that you made that they never left, you understand that they're still being around. They stayed around in the name of our school, churches, every other thing you can think of. So they make sure to educate you now so that they don't have to force you, kill you to do that. So you have to do it yourself, which is what Woodson, the guy that wrote Miseducation of the Negro, but of the black Negro, when he talks, once you teach some person, you don't need to force them. Just give a man what you follow. So now that same job that we are doing, two things has happened to them, right? One, they've discovered another way to augment your brain. You understand? There is an alternative to your brain now, something else that can do it better than them. You understand? But most importantly, because over the years where they force us to do the labor, come build their system for them, they're becoming so wealthy, right? They're becoming so reliable, they enjoy. They are enjoying as they enjoy that they produce, everything they increase. So we now exceed their budget plan. The plan now for like British, for instance. British was built infrastructure were built for 50 million people. Today you have 70 million people. It go show. Now you can say, oh, technology if you augment that now excuse, but my dad that's now waiting they won't be that. So waiting your grandfather can't do for field, now your father can't do for office. You understand? You now they look at you. Now officer, we no even want you. They smell. We need robot. We need intelligence. All those things don't they? So why they why they not gonna make it difficult for you again?
Now, that's exactly my question. That since we've got into to this situation whereby your need is not even required anymore,
Hmm.
will that make me as an individual even think about my life in terms of
No.
this Nigerian
Yeah.
situation? Do you think it's going to make us serious about, okay, guys, we need to get ourselves serious?
No. No, it's not. You know why? You know why? Because another side of us not being serious is that there's the physical responsibility for that, right? Which is again they never left. If we get serious with our life, hungry go beat them. They have to adjust their lifestyle. It is cheaper to make sure we never get our own right so that their life will continue. And say, okay, we will let
Yeah.
them so that we will work harder. Right? Because if our life we get our shit together, they have no choice. Either they will go bankrupt or they step up their game, work harder. But the alternative is that man, let's keep them there so that you understand. So what now? What you are saying is that your wish or your prayer is that should force us to wake up. No, no, be say they don't need us like that. You understand? Not that they don't need you like that, they need you. But what they need is not your physical muscle, it's not your way of reasoning. They just want your attention,
Okay,
which
so
is
this is
why.
what
Hold on, sorry, let me finish. Which is why we are here. Now, what do I mean by that? When those that control power, their source of income na land, now they need to come work on that land. When they go from land to factory, their source of power na factory, they need you. Now their source of power na cloud, na attention. So what they need you, they just want you every morning be connected to whatever they are giving you. Don't worry about yourself anymore. If you need food, food will come. Don't worry. But it's just not going to be about food that you want. So they still need you. So they will keep us. We are still going to. They will still keep us to that level. We say we are not going to be worse off, even though we worse or not go too much. Maybe few of us will just die, but we are still going to be here. That if you, I don't know if you don't ever hear me talk. Yeah, the next generation that this whole thing is going to produce are called useless generation. You just like you did now, you young, you healthy, you are educated, you are smart, but literally there's nothing for you to do that will be useful to the society. Not that you cannot do it too, but there are things that can do it better or they don't need it at all. So in other words, you are useless to the society. Now, are you now going to be struggling to make sure you are useful to the society, or you have another fight, which is it's like I'm getting useless to myself? Oh. You
exactly my
understand?
question.
Of course, we will
Because
not
because
say not say useless ourselves.
yeah, because right now, like you said,
Hmm.
is you're definitely useless in the society. For example, a doctor in Nigeria is very much useless to that society because they don't value you, but you are useful in other countries, and that's why you see a lot of Nigerian doctors going to the UK and all these countries. But like you said, if we slowly start advancing to an extent whereby those skills are not even needed that much. I mean, you're still gonna need doctors, but there's certain things that are, robots are gonna take
Yeah.
over, and that uselessness to yourself, do you think is gonna make people start thinking like, okay, I can't even japa to go have a future there. I don't have a future anymore. Do you think it's gonna make us start reasoning and start being a bit more skeptical and a bit more intentional in our choices? Because now, like you also mentioned, climate change. You know how majority of all these countries, they're not contributing into the whole climate, but they tend to reap more. If our
Yeah.
climate also put, if you add our climate into perspective too, then that's two things that we have to think about. Our environment is becoming hard, so you have to actually work hard to survive.
Yes. But listen again.
Just
You
like
already
they had to work hard to survive because of the environment.
yes. There's a saying that says if you want to be wealthy tomorrow, Abby, want to survive tomorrow is in the future, start living in the future now, right? There's something you should pay attention to, right? So we are talking about survivor. What would they do, right? That is what the alternative to the reality that me and you grew up to be living. Is alternative, which is the cyber world, cyber economy, visual, virtual reality. If you pay attention to the younger, not even the Gen Z, now the younger kids, right? There's something that they catch up on. Some they will even the our intellectuals that then daily fast we talk about that them show worry that some Nigerians have already succeeded out of Nigeria mentally. I understand that what they mean is that for them now just they're just a wait for that opportunity to japa. But what is going to be the reality since they no go fit japa again? They will spend most of their time in the cyber world, which is the cloud. You understand? Now,
Yeah.
the effect of that, I don't know where it's going to answer your question, which is that going to make us better as a society? But I will tell you no, because even that the virtual reality that now people create them, which is why I say they still need you. They just need you to live in that fake world. But again, those which Adam Smith referred to master of mankind, if you want to factor into the World Economic Forum, what they are saying, you will have nothing, but you will still be happy. So
Okay.
that time, instead of us to be thinking the way you just put it, like with that force us to come together as a common, we got to do something about our own life, right? No, it will not be like that again. We'll be brazen to who's more wealthy virtually. Because people going to tell you, say, oh, man, I get mansion for. Because that's where he or she spend all our whole day. You understand? You need food. You need food. You go just order and food go bring and come for you, right? Something will come. So that's the kind of, when we say useless generation, not necessarily we say, but I mean, after all, they get paid, right? TikTok is just a glimpse to the future. A lot of Nigerians, I mean, all of us with the YouTube now, right? We want to once we start making money on YouTube, virtually, it's finished. But the truth is that nobody all of us will make that money, which is even though the real economy, nobody all of us will make money, right? Which is your concern. If we that should what you are saying that should automatically make us wake up. But no, it's not going to wake up because again, we are not free to even to be thinking the direction you are thinking. The direction you are thinking is not popular. Not very few people again they think like that. You understand? So everybody is caught up like I need to catch up. We are backward. We are backward. We are backward. Backward to what? When you say you are, what do you mean you are backward? Right? Because again, we fail to because we don't know who we are. We don't understand that in this jungle called planet Earth, it is a struggle, a battle of ideology. The Chinese will come and tell you that we'll be living our life for the past 3,000 years. We are more superior. It will come to that time. The Americans say, hell no, our civilization is better. You understand? That is the real bigger picture. But I think I am more worried. Now, if I am in a position or if I'm working towards is that I think as far as I'm concerned, this planet Earth needs something fresh. It needs the African way of life. Right? It's that time we should become what hegemony and say the idea of African life, but the way of life. But the truth now is that what is the African way of life?
Doesn't it doesn't even exist, man.
So
They
in reality, to answer your question direct, there is no hope. We don't exist. We are dead. Nobody worry about it. They don't know. Say once the time to come to close, it's gone. So
That's where we are.
Do you know what's funny? Because you asked what's like the African life or the
Mm.
things that, because I was reading this architectural book and I saw, and there were different architectural styles. You know, they were talking about the Roman, they were talking about the Chinese, the Japanese. I was reading it. I flipped. I did not find one African thing, nothing. And this was a book about, I don't know what the heading was saying, but it's basically talking about architecture in our world today. Not one architectural style was something related to any African. So I was like, were we
Mm.
sleeping in the air? Where were we sleeping? Like, what's our which is a lie because we obviously have architecture. You know, when you go to the Sahel, you see the Malian style and the sub. Those things exist, but the fact that they
Yeah,
have belittled it so much. But what even makes it even funny is that now they're bringing up this architectural style again, but they're not saying African. They're saying modernization. This is the new design of architecture. So it's like even your own history. I don't think our history can ever exist because they will bring it back. It will be looking at you in the face, but you're not seeing your name on it. It's their name. It's their identity on it.
because today, world history is European history, the Western history. Now, only okay, oh yeah, the Chinese are still holding on there, maybe some places here and there, but largely, if you are talking about world history today, you are talking about Western history. If you think about it like that, you understand the magnitude of change that took place over the last maybe 500 years. You understand? So that is the when somebody say you are conquered, right? That's the cause that come with it. Like literally, I don't even know how to like everything about your yesterday. Then make sure then wipe and out.
But the thing is
But
that
we
those other people too were conquered. But the way they conquered the African is that they didn't even conquer you. They just erased you from everything that ever existed. Because we still talk about Egyptian um everything. You talk about the Chinese, you talk about the Japanese, even though they still went into those places and did everything they do. We talk about the Arab, them into maths and calculus and all those things. You still talk about them, but you do not talk about anything African.
you see,
Absolutely nothing.
I think we should even consider ourselves lucky that we are still here, that we still get small brain or memory to even think out like, okay, something is wrong. You know why I say we are lucky? The Americans don't have that privilege. They were not that lucky. You understand? People were there, the Americans now, they are not here to tell to even reflect that maybe this is how they are not here. You understand? So again, by the time you begin to read the text of the last 500 years from our perspective, when they go tell you say there are about thousand, two, 300,000 of sheep every day. Just think of two, 300,000 of sheep. Which then they can't carry? This is not only human being. No, that's why I supported Monday Paolo. This is our Edo election because when I hear people they talk to people they even talk say okay, the our artifacts that was stolen. If they bring a call, we no go fit manager. People don't. As like, what hits me when time I heard, I was like, do people actually realize that this? You are talking about Samsung and the Japanese Samsung phone.
Did they understand that the Japanese civilization is what is Samsung? That is not just the component, that there is ideology that goes into it. As in, this is life, right? So if you want to wipe Japanese out of the planet and you still leave anybody come in contact with Samsung, you will still remember them, right? So I'm using that to say those are our artifacts, not civilization. That's why nobody fit replicate them. It is a religion. It is a way of like now the whole existence reflected that goes in there. So it's not just they take it's just like maybe you can't steal Samsung away. You are taking much more than say you just buy something. That's why the America today are trying to Chinese they steal their intellectual property, even though not so self them they start. Right? Because you are not just stealing just that thing, you are stealing their life. Because if you can replicate it, you don't know their life with that. You understand? It's just as I come
Yeah.
to Bumina and download your brain from my hand. I know anywhere I do, I go know what you they do. I go know what you did. You understand? That's exactly what they took away from us. So it's beyond us say they come kill, rape, like no. Like that's what I thought say. Like until you can tell me how my people used to be 2,000, 3,000 years ago. You are not you everything are just but the planet Earth today now only China go fit go that far and tell you who they were due to the devastation of the Western way of life. So again, their environment, they are still fighting it. You understand? The European country is becoming fewer by the day. Do you notice that? Where did they go? Eh, So it is when our strategy, you have to look at it from the Egyptian, the Jews, and so then they too. I think that them be the last people that they don't know who they were. After them now us. That's what I mean. So I just dey see oh sorry, I just get your listening now. Yeah, be more nice
Interesting.
conversation. Yeah, so there's so much that history. So history, our history, But I like thank you for bringing that. We are not. It's as if we are not worrying about the future and what will make us sit tight. I don't know because the people who put us on this condition have a plan already, but we don't. So maybe I give you the last to say since you want to check out now.
I have much to say. uh,
Mhm.
no, but I really do hope that we, I really hope you're wrong in terms of like, I mean, I know you don't want that too, but I really hope that this next point that we are moving as a society, we get that realization for ourselves. Because if we don't take that chance now, then you might as well just forget about it. Because even standing up to fight today is already very hard. Imagine when we get to that other point. Who are you fighting? They already have how many years to start? Like now they can still, let's say, move a button to even fight you. Next time you just blink, and then that's it. At that point, you can't fight. You know, there's this TV show I'm watching. It's called Foundation. I think you might. I don't know if you're gonna like it because I don't know if you watch fiction, but it's very much a fictional movie. It talks about the Earth in like billions of years. It talks about going to different planets. It talks about time traveling. But what I look at our world in that perspective, in terms of we're so back, and I think this other like the Western countries are so far ahead in terms of billions of years when it comes to industrialization, when it comes to just development that they have, that once we even stand up as a people to fight, it will already be too late. And we might actually just be slave forever. And that's just a sad thing, that our whole existence is just to be that. So heaven better be real, because if you're
We,
gonna
you know,
suffer
you know
this,
this, you know the scary thing of what you just said. We are already here. If you, I'll send you a link later on. If you listen to Elon Musk had a conversation with West Point. West Point is the military, the most famous military college in the world, right? The American the military college, where they train their intellectuals, the military and gadgets and all that. So there, it was addressing them like last week. He said today's war, not the, it's not talking about tomorrow war that where we are getting into the next 5, 10 years, right? You don't need human being at the war front. But what he said that is scary is that he said all you need to do is to just program a drone for inside your bedroom, just program and put the necessary information, right? Which is where the AI control coming. Put the necessary information. I just say as you did where you did that I don't know, right? I go just pull everything information. I go just say go to so. I don't know exactly that so place blah 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 blah. Blah. Go bring Bumi purse handbag for me. You understand? So that's exactly where we are. They don't need to call do anything. They have to just program 1 million drone. Zoom, you could just see them. So it is. You are right. On that level, we know where we did. So I'm not able to give us hope when it comes to that.
like, that's why it pisses me off that when you listen to the news and they're just saying those things. Like, you play those videos of those. I'm like, are you serious? This is what you're talking about. That's why I'm like, it
Good.
has to be a joke, because if it's not a joke, our reality is so, like, it's gone. It has to be gone.
I think the goal is for us to be at the bottom for life. No be saying so when people have that kind of mission, it's up to you to get out of. So sorry. When AB they thought say, I hope I know that the civilization existed in Africa before. That's your point. It existed before, and me and you don't even know what it is. That is the share. That's what exactly Bumi is talking about. 200 years from now, you know, go see say where people go sit down for one place. Maybe this time the animal because they come home. Some place they call Nigeria before. There are some people like that too, right?
You just have
That's
only
exactly
you have
right.
sculptures to represent those people. Literally. Do you know how sad it is that, like, there's this app called Pinterest, and I click there sometimes, and I click on architecture, and I click on African architecture. I can mention how many pictures of African architecture that is there. You can count them. How many
Yeah.
of them do you want to count of Egyptians? How many? You can't count it. They're there. They're
Maybe
everywhere you go.
go read on Benin mode, the Benin wall. Maybe
That one too.
that will
Do you
give you
know
a
how
little
many
bit of
people?
consolation.
Do you know how many people? Because there's a video that they were talking about the Benin Wall and how that was like the biggest wall. Da, 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
People were
Yeah.
saying, "I am from Benin. I have never seen that wall in my life."
Right. Yeah. That's it again. That to tell you what they did. They
I
clean
have never
everywhere.
seen that. Some people say, "Oh, I've seen little bits, remnants
It
of
is.
that wall." But you look at the wall, there's no way you can actually come to a conclusion that that was this big. That was as big as the wall of China or close to that level. Even the little things
because
left, you can't even.
because the technology they use in attacking the kingdom because they came twice. First one they come, they were defeated, right? So the British has to reinforce as if we are going to war with Russia or China. So the weapon
that they brought to fight to destroy Benin Kingdom, it was the best at that time. Because if you look, this is just was just pretty much close to World War One, late 1800, World War One, early 1900. So it was the same weapon they used in fighting German. German that at that point the whole world they said that even the British are scared of the German in terms of advancement. Waiting they take go war with German to wait them for 3 years. Now waiting they take descend on. So there's a book I'm currently reading, right? Progress and Power. They are describing how when the Greek the Roman Empire attacked Egypt that you're talking about. When the soldiers were coming, they came with over 250,000 scientists and researchers. What do you think those were the day for? So as they destroy you, so those ones are there excavating, the pack, the steel, everything. Then when they finish, they go. That's exactly what they do that time. Then they make sure say you don't breathe. There's no breathing soul. Once you go like, that's why even up to today in America, when I dey talk about for the same country where I did, so if you go where the remain and the last people will remain for the African Indian American that you hear about, you know go feel it. You know go know when you go begin cry. Like you will say come on. In the midst of this $30 trillion economy, there is a place like this. You can't grow anything there. Say like man, some countries, if you read or you know, like you will say, man, what you they talk about our future, so you could just say, that's our end. Like you will just conclude, say, man, we should
You
not
can't do
we should not go
anything.
out of our way one day. If we go out of our way to come out us, wipe us, it's nothing. Why you think it things are like this with us? Because they have free access to because all they want is the resources now. Because that's what maintain their own security, civilization, and every other thing, right? And we don't have anything that will scare them away. We don't get nuclear. If we say we get nuclear now, they will pause. You understand? So our own matter, what I'm saying is our own matter is already done. They don't finish It's already they don't drop us okay by so time. By so time. Some people tell in 300 years. By the year 300 300,000, I'll be 3,000. Then be the last date where you go see people like me and you on this planet. They raise our ugly head.
No.
So yeah, it's you see, this is why I want you to be coming on show. We no go talk about Fulani, yeah, Oza. You know, those ones are like,
Please.
those ones don't be, that
Don't
was
that
a family problem.
that's literally baby fight. Like that's baby fight.
See your brother, your friends say we don't need nuclear, we need juju. You know, sure that the juju wey we get before they came, I been that the one wey we finally invented after they don't come go. Which of the juju? I
Even
don't
the
say that
juju is
joke
not even
today.
helping us. It's not even helping us
Yeah,
now.
that is all. So if you really if you actually want to, I when you say it is not joke, I understand how you come to that conclusion because if you really want to like look at the reality of how things they operate, like we don't even dey exist. We have no chance. And you now listen to the people that are supposed to know better. They call the talk of if I'm not demarcated to PDP, I like are you serious?
Literally, like it pisses me off. This is really what we have to offer. This is the people I just arrived and I have to look up to these people.
Oh man.
Like, nah, I don't know. I just hope it gets better. Like, phew. If not, then I'm just gonna change my identity.
To what?
That's the problem.
What?
I don't know.
It's too late. You can't change. You can't say I'm not. We just say I'm not go. I'm not go reprocreate again. That's. I think that's the only concentration. Say, okay, kai, I'm not gonna bring somebody again because this the situation now is still whoever you are going to bet it. I know. I'm sorry. People say, oh, I'm saving for my children. I like, dude. You know where you did so. You are not different from that riffraff where you not sitting at riffraff for Ajegule. When the real deal, when shop come to shop. So at times I will look and like, it's what's the point of actually want to bring kids to this world,
That should be another topic for another day.
man? Because Ah,
Because we got to talk about that one for another day.
because people don't think about this thing deep. They think like just food, chop all that. Nah, man, we are not living our true life. Anyway, Bumi, in fact, you need it every day so that to say you know day and for only me for the only me go there and talk I go the verse. No, for real, I forgot verse because I'll be talking this before you know. AB would not ask me about Erufai or Kokoso or Ganguje. You understand? The competition will just swift, and before you know, we go begin argue. Like, you see why I always get frustrated whenever we are like, what the heck? What, like, don't be everything we argue. We are arguing at something they now just the surface. Somebody will just come and say, I'm more than shut up, give us money, all of us will shut up, and that's it. That's how much the complaint they complain, how you know who get weight reach. So it's annoying when you
But
have a clue, just know little about how the things work. You just be paranoid all the time.
literally, when you see through all of this, you get so upset when people are just yanning and they're talking about something that does not do anything. I cannot sit down. You know how when they sit down and they're arguing, oh, is Tinubu better than Peter B? I'm just like, are you serious right now?
That is-
I
or do you
could
like to
not
know? Do
care
you
less.
love to know like?
Like, and the worst is that you've never seen those people. These people don't even know you exist.
They
Let's
don't.
even like, if they know you exist, I'll give you even one. I'll let you have it. They don't even know they exist. And you're spending your free time arguing over who is better. Anyways,
Like man, as according to our those that came before us, you go better, Abi. That's the
I mean, I
consolation.
hope. I hope so.
You go better. And I think
Yeah,
that's those old people say know something that we don't know. That's why they will just say, go better.
they're tired. They're tired. I haven't
um,
even been here that long and I'm already tired. So imagine people who are like 70. I'm like, wow. I can't believe you've been listening to those people for 70 years. That is crazy.
man. When you talk about that, I just arrived. Sorry, I just arrived, bro. I'm just arrived, man. I was like, all these people wait all day here for so long. So what would they do all this while? If we will just come. How man? I feel you, man. I come. See, at times I just see myself. So, make I even they do different shows. No, we talk about. I know we gonna do see or just the enter bush dey show animal talk to like I will get more viewership sef pass all this for real. So I don't know whether I mean get the problem. I mean people get the problem because somebody is definitely laughing at now they laugh at them, then they laugh at me. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely nice.
Oh. Hmm. Sorry, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Thank you very much. I know I will still get you again. See, well, I like this conversation. That's why I want you every time to come. Don't worry, I will talk to my ancestors, make them give me money, now they pay you. Not to
You
make you
have to
get
pay
fired
me.
for your job.
You
Then
have to pay me more than the salary those people are getting.
you never can tell. Talk to you shoot me. Make I talk like Dangote now. So maybe I can see what I can do to that. If that's what it's gonna take, just to shoot me. Reach my office and let them know see what we can do. Anyway, Bubibi,
Definitely.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Bye.
I Yes, I think at least the conversation like this, it pay me pass backbones wey AB go come dey tell me now say na Jagaban na him be the guy. Jagaban is the guy to beat. Anyway, it's a good conversation. So I will leave you guys here and you guys see what is happening in the real life. I'll be back in 2, 3 hours. I promise. Many things they happen. You Putin and Donald Trump are going to meet as brand new, and the meeting is not going to include Zelensky. Um, Americans have come out officially to tell the European countries that they are no longer responsible for their security. Bam, 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 bam. I'm loving. I'm loving. It's good to be alive, though. It's good to be alive. A lot of shit is happening. A lot of shit is happening. Oh, RFK Jr. just get confirmed as the Secretary of Health. Maha make America healthy again. Ga 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 ga. That is make I check. Tosi Gabbard got confirmed yesterday. Now who remain? Patel. Na Patel remain. Let me see. Let me see. As at the last minute, Patel did there. Oh, RFK has already been sworn in. Didn't. Where's Patel? I've been Patel. What is it they call this? Nothing new. You got never final vote on Cash Patel. Come on, man. Come on, niggas. You do this shit. Get it over with. What prawns will Trump want? Trump gets. So, RFK Jr. is in. Tulsi Gabbard is in. Who again? So the last man standing is Cash Patel. CIA. Y'all let him be, man. Y'all let that motherfucker in. So yeah, so I'll come back in the evening to talk about that geopolitics. I'm not sure in Nigeria saying they say they don't pass a bill in a 2024 bill budget. Sorry, I don't understand that if that's the news. I've said it before, long before now. Let's go to fast anyway. I'll be back in 3 hours. Ciao, ciao.